So we've got 1B race for the Mazda Mark-1's about to go out this afternoon, right after lunchtime, so hopefully the full bellies won't be too much of an issue for them. But yeah, we've got Jack Moody on front, who's a complete novice this year from Guildford, so he's going out on pole, and then we've got some old favourites like Simon Woods behind, and I believe that's Tucker as well in car 22, so we should see how these guys get on.
Thank you, Lyndsay. Should be a cracking start to the season in the Mazda MX-5 Championship B Group. And on the front row of the grid, it is Jack Moody and Simon Woods, as you mentioned. Paul Tucker and Charlie Rawls on the second. Ivan Leary and Charles Muggleston on the third row. From Matthew Pollard and Nick Ledoyen, with George Grant and Adrian Burge rounding up the top 10. Then it's Anthony Hutchins from Alan Hawkins. Nick Riley alongside Callum Greatrex on the 7th row. Then Bryn Griffiths and Clive Chisnell on the 8th. Jake Stiles and Richard Wooten. Sam Jarvis and Elliot Hand round out the top 20. Then it's Graham Rumsey, Richard Bartlett, Bruce Robinson and Sam Riley. A nice combination of novices, fairly well experienced hands and masters drivers. So let's see how they all charge for Paddock Hill Bend. Revs rising. Oh, careful, Paul. Don't creep too far forward. And away we go racing. But Paul Tucker's made a cracking start. So too has Charlie Rawls on the far side. And it's 4 wide to Paddock Hill Bend. First run to first corner. And it's 4 wide. Amazing. Paul Tucker gets through and takes the lead early on. That looks like Simon Woods has crept up into second position. We're on board with Charlie Rawls as they make their way out of Paddock Hill Bend and up the hill towards Druids. It's going to be an interesting start to the season. Oh, and there's a bit of a spin and contact. That looks like we've had an off already. Now, who is that that's spun it? That's the 96, I think, of Charles Muggleston. So Muggleston has dropped to the back of the grid as Jack Moody defends on the inside line and retakes that third position into Graham Hill Bend at the bottom of the hill, defending from Nick Ledoyen, who's had a cracking start. Back on board with Rawls. This time it's the rear-facing camera. Behind us is Adrian Burge trying to charge after us. Up through Surtees and McLaren. And to complete the lap, it's a very short lap here at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit, which makes for fast, furious and frenetic racing. Burge is having a little bit of a crack here. This is for third position. That's Jack Moody running out in third position. So 5th and 6th is Rawls and Nick Ledoyen. Oh, sorry, no, that's Nick Ledoyen trying to go round the outside of Jack Moody. So Ledoyen is going to try and get into third position. Squeezes Moody to the inside. Tries to run right round the outside. Don't think so, says Jack. That's an easy move for me to defend, and I'm going to do so. Meanwhile, Burge is going to get the undercut to move past Charlie Rawls. Up on the inside, but Rawls goes right round the outside of Druids. You're not going to get there, bucko. Charlie Rawls comes off the throttle and back onto the power again as he skates down Druids and up towards Graham Hill Bend, the left-hander. Tucks in plenty of curb on the entry. Oh, a little bit of a correction there on the mid part of the apex, but that's plenty fine. No problems at all. Up the gear and then into Surtees. You carry the speed through. You've got to be very confident on the way in. It's getting a little bit dark and drizzly here. I hope rain's not going to affect play here. Jack Moody in the lead of this battle for third position. 4 cars in it. Nick Ledoyen in a brilliant 4th position after a cracking start. Then it is Charlie Rawls in 5th. And in 6th position, that is the 7 of Adrian Burge. No problems at all for our leaders out front. Paul Tucker doing a cracking job in front of Simon Woods, the 101. So 2 masters leading the way here in the 22 and 101 cars respectfully, but this is the closest battle on track. There goes the 101, the orange machine of Simon Woods. Up on the inside, that is a move from Charlie Rawls to defend Adrian Burge once again. Cracking stuff between these two as they continue to squabble away. Burge is going to have to back out of it once more, and Charlie Rawls has got his sights firmly set on the 60 of Nick Ledoyen just up the road. Through Graham Hill Bend and down the straight once again. This is a good opportunity for Charlie Rawls to try and close out, but now it looks like Jack Moody is breaking the toe of these guys and is starting to get after Tucker and Woods. So Jack Moody, who originally was on pole position, is trying to get himself back to the front of the field. Adrian Burge now being challenged by Matthew Pollard. Then it is the 722 of Alan Hawkins. A great battle further back in the field here. That's the 80 we just saw going through the shot. That's Anthony Hutchins as he battles away, chasing after the 34 of Callum Greatrex, who's had a cracking start, to be fair. Greatrex is right on the door of that top 6 battle as he continues to charge his way forward. Novice, of course, Callum Greatrex. You can see the novice plate on the back of his car. But Greatrex with a little bit of a challenge now as they come up the hill once again. Anthony Hutchins being pursued as well. He locks up on the brakes and nearly loses the place to Bryn Griffiths. Griffiths dives up the inside and tries to get him on the switchback. Is he going to get there? Well, Griffiths is being quite determined on the far side, but he has to slot back in for Graham Hill Bend. He might be able to get a slingshot on the inside out of the left-hander down the straight. But at the moment, it is all okay for the 80 of Anthony Hutchins. Griffiths is reeling him in, though. He's going to make the move into Surtees. Thank you very much. That was job done. And very nicely worked up the hill, up towards Clark. Into that long flowing right-hander that kicks you out towards Clearways and down onto the home straight once again. The drivers love this Brands Hatch Indy circuit. You can have a right royal play around this place. It's got so much history and it works beautifully for Mazda MX-5s. It's a great place to start the season. We love coming here. The 31 out in front of this little battle, Bryn Griffiths. Now we're back on board with Charlie Rawls as he makes his way to Druids. That in front of us is Jack Moody, so it looks like Rawls has made his way up into 4th position. I'm not quite sure where he got the move done on Nick Ledoyen, but he is now through and up into P4, chasing down Tucker in the lead, Woods in 2nd and Moody in 3rd, so Rawls is in 4th position. Great work this from Charlie Rawls. Let's not forget that last year he was a complete and total novice at car racing of any kind, came into the Mazda MX-5 Championship, and he's been getting faster and faster as he progresses. Now this is Adrian Burge battling away with a 55 of Matthew Pollard. So Pollard is trying to get one over on Burge, and they're both trying to stay in touch with Nick Ledoyen. This is effectively a 3-car battle for 5th position. Well, no, it's a 4-car battle for 4th place, because in front of them, that still looks to me to be the 26 of Charlie Rawls. So what has happened to Nick Ledoyen? I didn't see where Nick Ledoyen disappeared to, because Charlie Rawls in the 26 is still there in position. So has Nick Ledoyen dropped back off the place? I had a feeling he was still there in P4, but oh no, there is Nick Ledoyen, so he's slipped back into position. Apologies. So Nick Ledoyen has there in 5th position. Charlie Rawls up to 4th, 6th and 7th. This is Burge and Pollard. So Matthew Pollard down into the left-hander. Through Graham Hill Bend, back on the power once again. It looks like Pollard's getting a bit threatening, trying to make his way through. He's getting closer, can't slingshot up the inside at Surtees there. He's got to be a little bit more conservative, a bit more careful. But he is starting to line up a move through Clark. If he can get the slingshot out of Clearways, he might get an opportunity into Paddock Hill Bend. He tightens up. He's looking for a way through on the inside. Adrian Burge uses the conventional line, then cuts back across to come over the grid hatchings, in behind Nick Ledoyen. And as they come across the line once again, no major changes there for Burge. He is getting a little bit tight to Nick Ledoyen as they go through Paddock Hill Bend, down the drop. You slingshot the car through. Charges up the hill once again. You have to catamaran yourself through. He's going to get a bit of a challenge here. Ledoyen keeping Burge to his left, not letting him go through at Druids. Down the short drop, up towards Graham Hill Bend once again. 55, Matthew Pollard tries to find a way through on the inside. Burge has got problems of his own trying to find a way through past Nick Ledoyen. So this 5th place battle, dropping back now from Charlie Rawls. There he goes, the 26. But these three still scrapping away. Ledoyen, Burge, Pollard. Up the hill, turn into the right-hander, through Clark, out through Clearways. This is going to be a really interesting battle, and I think it's only just getting going. The leading 2 cars, Ledoyen and Burge, hang out to the left side, whereas tightening up on the inside line, Matthew Pollard feels he's got a little bit more grip and a bit more confidence. Now, this is a good run for Burge. Can he dive his way up the inside? He's having a think about it. Ledoyen pulls the car across just in the nick of time. You're not going to get that one through. Now, Tucker in the lead. You just saw him leave the picture. Here's Woods trying to keep Jack Moody at bay. Jack Moody, the young man from Guildford, still in his first attempt at Mazda MX-5 racing in 2018. To complete and total novice this year, finds himself right at the front of the B finals. This is very good stuff. Simon Woods down the straight, up towards Surtees once again. Desperately trying to hang in touch with Paul Tucker, but Tucker is proving to be quite resilient out there in front. No chance to get past him at the moment as they go up through Clark, and then they'll drop down through Clearways once again. But Jack Moody is getting himself onto the back of Simon Woods, not particularly rapidly, but he is chipping away at it, 1/10 of a second by 1/10 of a second. So I would not be too surprised if in a couple of laps Jack Moody decides to go for the move, because he is reeling him in big style, and his confidence will be growing as a result of him being in the position he's in. What on earth are Paul Tucker and Simon Woods going to make of this young upstart Jack Moody as he forces his way? Look, he's made up so much time out of Paddock Hill Bend as he comes up towards Druids and out again. He's now all over the back of Simon Woods. I'm not quite sure how he made up all that time. Did Woods make a mistake, or is Jack Moody just that good? Through Graham Hill Bend, onto the straight once again. And there is your leader. That is Paul Tucker, the 22. I'm not sure whether he jumped the start or not, because I was just thinking about that when he was on the grid. He did creep a little bit forward, but he didn't actually banzai on the throttle until the lights went out. So it might just be one of those marginal errors things. So hopefully he's not going to get penalised. 5.44, Jack Moody tucked up behind Simon Woods. Woods is the proverbial second place man so far. He started second, and although Tucker got through, he passed Moody, so he is still second. But Jack Moody is now all over the back of him. 5.44, trying to make a way through. Oh, did he make a little bit of an error there as he loses a little bit of ground? Now, a little further back, up and over the crest of the hill, that is the 7.22 of Alan Hawkins leading this terrific scrap. 34 in there is Callum Greatrex. 31 is Bryn Griffiths, and at the back of the queue, that's the 80 of Anthony Hutchins. So Alan Hawkins leading this 4-car train as they go through. Oh, a bit of a wobble from Hawkins. And this is going to be a great opportunity for Callum Greatrex. Down the short stretch to Surtees and McLaren, but because he can't get through, the 31 Griffiths tightens up, and because he can't get through, Hutchins is going to tighten up. Now Griffiths is going to make a way through on the inside of Greatrex. Can he dive to the inside? Up on the throttle, and Hutchins is going to try and come round to the left side of him as well. This will be interesting down to the braking zone of Padico Bend, because Hutchins has got a terrific run. He's going to keep there, but still on the inside line, Griffiths is going to be. So he tightens up and holds the line. So Hutchins can't get through. Now he's going to dive for the inside at Druids. He's still got good speed and rhythm. Can he make the move stick? He locks up. Oh, careful, don't go into the side of Bryn Griffiths. Goodness me. The 80 of Anthony Hutchins still side by side with Bryn Griffiths as they go down towards Graham Hill Brent. And now, this time, he gets the door shut. Back to the 5th place battle. This is the Thoyen, Burge and Pollard still scrapping away. Matthew Pollard at the back of this queue will be able to size up the situation with these two. And then we drop back to look at this battle, which is for, I believe it's 9th position. Oh no, it is 8th. So 7.22 Hawkins in front of the 34 of Callum Greatrex, then Brent Griffiths, and then the 80 of Anthony Hutchins. They come down the main straight once again. That's one of the things I love about Mazda MX-5 Championship racing. It doesn't matter where you look in the field, you're always guaranteed spectacular racing. And still, doggedly, determinedly, the 7.22 of Alan Hawkins is hanging on to this from Callum Greatrex. Still, Anthony Hutchins is trying to find a way past Bryn Griffiths to break the deadlock, but every time he seems to have a good move lined up, Griffiths is automatically going for the man in front. And that is Moody, and he's been caught. Look at that, Charlie Rawls has caught him up. So Charlie Rawls is now going for the move on Jack Moody. So Jack Moody, the 5.44, they've got a blue flag waving. That's for one of the slower cars that they're coming up to lap in front of them. That isn't it. That's Simon Woods in 2nd place. But here comes Rawls. Is Charlie Rawls going to make the move on Jack Moody? 1 more year's experience than Jack, of course. Charlie Rawls still getting up to speed. He just wanted to place well last year. This year he's got that fire. He really wants to push on and get some good results, and he's definitely going to get a good one, even if he doesn't get past Jack Moody. 4th position, not a bad way to start the year, but he wants a little bit more, and you can sense it. Out of Druids, down the drop, into Graham Hill Bend. Jack Moody having to move off the line to cover just that little bit more than normal. Charlie Rawls really starting to give him some aggro. We're on board with Rawls this time. Up through the gears. Waiting for the opportune moment. Turning into the left, plenty of curb. Don't let the car unsettle itself. He's going to get a good opportunity into the inside line. The door just opens for him, and he's going to carry the speed. Jack Moody's going to keep it to the left side, and he keeps the power on. They're still side by side. Down the main straight, still side by side. Over the grid hatchings and over the line, still side by side, but Moody's slightly in front. Charlie Rawls will keep this going. Can he break that a little bit later? He is going for it on the inside of Padico Bend. Oh, no, you don't, says Jack Moody. Shuts the door as we ride back on board with Charlie Rawls. Well, that's what riding side by side nearly for half a lap is like. So, out of Druids this time. Charlie Rawls will have to come up with another trick up his sleeve as he thinks of it again. Now, up the front, I could just about see the leader struggling to get past the slower car. Now, that is obviously going to give Simon Woods a better chance to come through. And there is the battle for 3rd position. Jack Moody still with Charlie Rawls, practically spitting out exhaust fumes as he gets that close to him into Clark. And then he'll drop out of clearways once again. Now, Simon Woods has got past the traffic, but that slower car is still there in the mix. Can't quite see who that is. Oh, it's the 90. Now that is Bruce Robinson. So Robinson is doing exactly what a backmarker should do, just staying on the racing line and expecting the leaders to do the hard work. Jack Moody throws himself up the inside. That's going to compromise him. Here's a chance for Charlie Rawls. He's going to get alongside into Druids. Can he do it this time? We watch him through the right-hander. Yes, he squeezes Jack Moody to the side. Thanks, mate. That's what a year's more experience will do, as they also managed to lap. I think that's the 14 of Elliot Hand that they've just got past there. But what a magnificent move that was by Charlie Rawls. He just waited until Jack Moody got a little bit hesitant on the way through Paddock Hill Bend in the traffic, dived for the inside line of Druids, and decisively and assertively put himself in front. Very nice move there. So now, what can Jack Moody do in response is the main answer. Well, we're about to find out, because Charlie Rawls is watching his every move as they come down the main straight once again. This could be a very interesting battle between these two that lasts all race, but they do not want to trip over each other, because a little way behind this, you can just about make them out as they come out of clearways. There are 3 of them battling away for 5th position. If these two get a little bit too spicy, it could suddenly become a battle for 3rd if these two take each other off. Very unlikely, because these championship races in the Mazda MX-5 Championship are very clean. It's always great, no-nonsense racing. It's very rare that fisticuffs end up happening on the racetrack, which is another one of the reasons we love it so much. There's Nick Ledoyen leading that 5th place battle we were just mentioning. Adrian Burge and Matthew Pollard still in pursuit. They come off of Graham Hill Bend and on the run towards Surtees once again. Now there is Bruce Robinson. There is the 14 of Elliot Hand, who needs to get out of the way. They will be receiving blue flags, but as far as they're concerned, they just need to stay on the racing line. It's up to the leaders lapping them. Well, Elliot Hand, very much the sportsman, decides to move aside and let them all go. Fair enough. So these 3 continue on without having lost a single bit of time. Nick Ledoyen in the 60 and 5th position. Adrian Burge in 6th in the 7. They've actually lost ground. Well, Matthew Pollard, I was going to say, has lost ground actually behind these two, but he can get it back, especially now that Adrian Burge is trying to make a sweeping move on the inside of Nick Ledoyen. Here he comes again. Burge is now having to defend from Matthew Pollard, who got the most amazing run out of Paddock Hill Bend, sorry. Now he's going to get a run up to Graham Hill Bend if he keeps this moving through Druids. Dives up the inside. No, don't think so. But however, Burge does run a bit wide. Here's a chance now for Pollard if he gets a good exit. Adrian Burge is resisting. This is great racing between these two. Burge just does every single thing he needs to do to keep him at bay. For the moment at least, it is his way. But both of these guys have got stunning getaways off the grid, let's not forget, because we had that spin from Charles Mogglestone on the way up to Druids. Ivan Leary has fallen out of contention in the 25 as well. So these guys all benefited. I think George Grant was one of the drivers in the 169 who ended up in all sorts of difficulties as a result. There were 3 or 4 cars that got tripped up by the spin of Charles Mogglestone. Everybody is still running, by the way. I should point that out. Oh, this could get a bit messy as they go past Bruce Robinson. Well, somehow they managed to avoid it, but for a moment I was wondering if Matthew Pollard was going to get seriously held up. He just kept the car beautifully to the left, then shot the car across to the right. Beautifully done. The car catapults to the scene of the apex for the next corner. Beautifully done. Now, that's more drivers coming through. Oh, that's a bit of a moment. There's the 45. Very nearly trips up Jack Moody. Goodness me, Graham Rumsey very nearly causes a bit of aggro for the new boy, Jack Moody. That was a very close call. So, out in 3rd position, Charlie Rawls has got himself a bit of breathing space now to Jack Moody. That will definitely have helped his cause no end as they complete another lap. And down the straight they go once more, into Paddock Hill Bend, down the dip, and up the climb once again. If you get a good exit out of Paddock Hill Bend, that run up the hill feels magnificent. Now they're still coming through lap cars, and obviously with this being a very short racetrack, the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, it's only 1.2 miles. They've got to be very careful about where they make those moves to get through. And that's why Charlie Rawls getting a little bit held up in the traffic. Jack Moody able to get right up close to him once again. Here we go again into the right-hander. Oh, that's how close it can get. That was a very close corner. Jack Moody actually got a little bit unsettled there, but Charlie Rawls, with a year's worth of practice in this car, was able to make good use of the manoeuvre. My goodness, that was a close run thing, and that's what it's like going through the traffic at speed. But in doing so, he's actually caught up with Simon Woods a little bit in second position. The only difficulty now is that he's actually running out of time to do anything about him in second place. But this is going to be a really interesting battle. Whoa, they used plenty of curb on the exit though, a bit more than they would have liked to have used as well. But Rawls is closing up on Woods, and as he's got a slower car in front of him now, this could end up getting very much to his benefit. Charlie Rawls still running in third position, trying to get away from Jack Moody, trying to close up the gap on Woods, who has got traffic to deal with and is getting a little bit held up. Can he make his way in a second position? Well, he's dealt with a slower car pretty quickly, to be fair, so not a major problem. And that is the now who is that they're lapping? Actually, I think that is the 169 of George Grant, who started right up the sharp end, but he's had a lot of difficulties. He's not in his own car, he's just using a different car for this particular weekend, because of course normally he races in the Super Cup in the Clapham North car. Last lap, and here is your man in the lead since the start, actually, since that gutsy move off the line to go 4 wide into Paddock Hill Bend and put his car in exactly the right position to take the lead of the race. That is Paul Tucker. So Paul Tucker starting his 2018 season exactly the way he wanted to do. He's won a lot of races in the past as Paul Tucker, in both the A and B group, of course. But it's great to see him at the front of the B group once again. He'll have plenty of great racing ahead of him in 2018. He's always his own worst critic, is Paul Tucker, but he shouldn't be so hard on himself. He's a great racer. He knows how to put himself in a good position, and he has absolutely worked his magic here on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit today. He comes up out of McLaren into Clark, and as he drops down through clearways, he'll have a slower car in front of him, but he won't have an issue with him because he's going to cross the line before he gets past him. Out of the final turn, it's a cracking first race of the season for Paul Tucker, who takes the checkered flag. His arm is in the air. Thanks, boys. Victory! Brilliant run for Paul Tucker. Second place for Simon Woods in front of Charlie Rawls and Jack Moody. Not a bad start for the newbie. What a cracking start to the season, though, for Paul Tucker. First master home and first man home. Woods in second from Charlie Rawls and Jack Moody. Nick Doyen beats Adrian Burge and Matthew Pollard in their 10th squabble. Anthony Hutchins hangs on in front of Callum Greatrex, Alan Hawkins and Ivan Leary, with Bryn Griffiths eventually dropping to 12th ahead of Chisnell, Stiles, Wotton, Riley, Grant, Rumsey, Riley and Jarvis. Fastest lap of the race, Bruce Robinson. Brilliant work from him in 21st. Elliot Hann and Richard Bartlett in 22nd and 23rd, with Muggleston out of the race after that first lap spin. What a race to start the season.
Paul Tucker, you've been doing this 6 years, but I bet you'd never get tired of top spot.
No. Basically, yeah, I had a super start, yeah, 6 years. I'm getting a bit old for this now. We've got young lads who are not scared of dying and think a lot quicker than us. But no, really enjoy it. Absolute great lads, great racing, great championship.
Yeah. Great way to start the season.
Yeah, very good. Didn't really want to be in the B final, but yeah, great way. I had a fantastic start. Good old Woody moved over, just let me drive past him. It was very kind of him. Fantastic start. Knew I had good men around me, so I knew we weren't going to be fighting, with all safe drivers. And it was just nice to get away and, yeah, enjoy the race.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you. Simon, second place, season opener. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was good race. Me and Paul, we've raced side by side quite a few years now, so I can trust him. I know he'll push me, I know I'll push him, but it's always clean, it's always fair. Yeah, and after a win at Donington, it's nice to come back and be on the front. Now we're in the A's and we can push forward to be where we should be.
And you had that young man, Mr. Moody, in front of you. First time in the Mazda, how did he get on?
Very well, actually. We got off the line, we were... You couldn't have split us with a fag paper, but no contact, and I just thought, you know what, keep my foot in. I'm older than him. I've got a bit more experience, and I did. I just kept my foot in. I saw Paul come in, and again, I knew to get behind him because we'd have a good race regardless of what was happening behind us, and it was brilliant.
What are next? So, what are your expectations there?
Forwards, top 10. Why not? Let's go for it. I'll push Paul, and he'll drag me along. So, yeah.
All right, well, good luck.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Charlie, this has been a long time coming, so how do you feel?
I feel absolutely over the moon. It's been a long time coming. Obviously last year was just my first year racing. I wanted to learn the circuits. I didn't really care where I came. Obviously towards the end I was starting to get the bit between my teeth. I wanted to make my way forward. We found a little bit of pace in the car over the winter, and it's obviously paid off. So very little testing. I just want to go out and say that whoever wants to come racing, just go and do it, because if I can do it, anyone can do it.
That's great advice. But now obviously you're going to move up to the A's. Have you got a game plan already? You're just going to go out and try and have some fun?
Well, I have actually got tactics, because obviously you know Michael Close. He did say he's never got a pole position. So I did say if I get a pole, then I'll dedicate it to him. So it might be a game plan to stay back and get a win in the next B race after that, or just push forward and see how far we can get. Hopefully get dragged along by some of the quicker guys and never look back, hopefully.
Brilliant. Well, I can't wait to see it. Good luck.
Thank you.